welcome to Tun Gamer. Today we're building a life-size interrogation droid from Star Wars. Dr. Ball here is amazing and he helps motor neuron disease. Before I tell you how, I think I should show you how I built him, so let's get into the video. The IT-0 was an interrogation droid designed by the Imperial Security Bureau and employed by the Empire. It was a hovering droid with a lot of attachments and a purposely horrifying appearance. The droid was generally successful in getting information from prisoners. In fact, it became so feared that soon the prisoners started saying what they needed to say. Before the droid even came into their cell, that's how scared they were.
I see dead people.
Many officers realised that the droid's reputation was so great that it would be reasonable to make them guards, which they did on many posts and starships. The model for this project was made by the awesome designers of the Droid division and was put for sale by Droid Builders UK. This year they're helping charity by supporting motor neuron disease research. Even though we're only helping a little bit, it's still a worthwhile cause. The model was pre-split into parts designed to fit on any printers without any fiddling or support. We used cheap PLA and we printed the whole thing on the prusa. We decided to go for speed of printing instead of accuracy because I knew we were going to go through a lot of painting and sanding. Printing fast means we have to sand it more, but we also finished it so much quicker.
I am speed.
And it was an excellent set of files. It took about 10 days to print them all out and then we were ready to start assembling. We printed out 6 different parts for IT-series body ring. We also printed out these little pegs to help put it together, and we're going to use super glue to help put it together as well. Now when I've finished super gluing the body ring together, I can use it as the basis for the top and bottom dome to keep it nice and circular. We had a bit of a disaster 11 hours in. This guy fell off the printer without the final bit on, so we had to use the plain cut prusa slicer option to cut this bit off and then print it out again. So now we have to use super glue to put it back together, and it goes on like this. So we need super glue. Now we've printed out all of IT-0's body panels, we need to use super glue, activator, and these locator pins to put it all together.
12 seconds later.
We've glued all panels together except for the bottom cap and the top cap. And we also haven't glued the top dome to the bottom dome because we're going to put electronics in it later. To make it easier to spray paint all of the bits that need to have chrome on them, I've super glued them all to the spare plank of wood that I have.
What's that, Plank? Plank says you should be more careful not to lose things.
I used this enamel chrome spray paint and it gave really nice coverage to all of the plastic bits from before, and it made them look exactly like they were just made out of metal. Plank says you should remember not to clear coat over crown. For our first attempt at the syringe, we decided to resin print the tube. But that didn't end up working well as it came out all cloudy. So we decided to go online to buy this medical tube thing for the syringes. And we also decided to reprint these bits to make it bigger to fully resize it, and this is how it came out. So I think it worked out pretty well. I think it's time for primer. But what I always do is I like to do the underneath of it before I do the complete bottom. I use a combination of spray putty and P38 to fill in all of the caps, ready for sanding.
So I'm not such a big fan of it myself.
Now I've finished priming and sanding all of IT-0's body, I've decided to get the recessed pin stripes and cover them with a white coat and also with the minor details. And we're going to cover them with a masking tape, or when we cover all of the IT-0's body a glossy black. I might need to touch up all of the white bits with a white paint later, but it's a sacrifice that I'm willing to make. I finished the base coat of glossy black, but sadly, the masking tape didn't work because the paint went underneath it, so I'm going to have to do the white lines by hand.
That's right. That feels good.
When we painted IT-0 with the glossy black, we had to go over a lot of times, which means that the masking tape didn't work. So we decided to get a Tamiya white paint and cover it over with this paintbrush. I think it worked out pretty well in the end, but it was very tedious. For the line, we used 20 WS2812B LEDs and connected them to an Arduino, which we used to make him have an illusion of spinning around in a circle. It's a bit dangerous for me to solder the lights together, so I asked my dad to. I also 3D printed some holders so that the lights will stay in place. You also have one larger light at the bottom, which is made out of 4 LEDs, and sometimes the inner ring and that bottom light all go rainbow mode, which I like to call Christmas edition. The IT-0, also known as the Interrogation Droid, is a pretty iconic droid, but is often forgotten. If he did his job better, Tarkin might not have had to blow up Alderaan. And then maybe he could have been more iconic. But overall, the electronics were really fun to add him, and he's going to stay in my room with IG-11, Roger and Geo. Next time you might build a mouse droid or a super battle droid to keep Roger in line. Make sure to subscribe, hit that little bell down below, and like the video because it helps out a lot. And also use code 100 Tun Gamer in the Fortnite ad because it helps me pay for all of these epic droids I make. So I'm 100 Tun Gamer and I'll see you next time.